Hello, my name is Adam Winrich, and this video is about a two-handed whip cracking routine called the Maltese Falcon, a routine that I came up with on my own through messing around with some other whip cracking routines, which I will also talk about in this video. The whips I'm using are a pair of 6-foot whippa stock whips by Simon Martin of Tasmania. So first, a demonstration of the routine, the Maltese Falcon. The basic concept of the Maltese Falcon is that you are starting roughly with something like the Queensland crossover, add a few couple cracks into it, and then you have switched lead hands. Now, switching lead hands in the Queensland crossover is a pretty important skill. Switching lead hands basically means when you're doing the Queensland crossover, one hand is always going first. It's either your right or your left. So here is my right hand going first. And then if I give my left hand extra swing, now my left hand is cracking first. So the Maltese Falcon, now if I start with my right hand, doing the Queensland crossover, there's a couple other cracks that I'm going to do with my left hand. It'll be a fast figure 8 into a Victorian cutback, kind of a Victorian cutback in the overhead plane, followed by a little flick in front where I get the crack by sweeping the whip forward. 1, 2, 3, 4. So 1, 2, 3, 4. And just by doing those 4 cracks and keeping the Queensland crossover going in the other hand, I will successfully switch lead hands. So I'll start the Queensland crossover in my right hand, and then I'll do those 4 cracks, and then you'll see that my left hand then will be cracking first in the resulting Queensland crossover. So lead with my right, and then fast figure 8. And now I'm leading with my left. So I'll do that, those 4 cracks now on the right side. Left side, the right side, and you can kind of see those cracks. There's some cracks in the Queensland crossover that come in between these 4 cracks. So you're going to do your 2 cracks in your left hand. Then the right hand will crack once. And then in between these last 2 cracks here, let's see, you go little crack, and then bang. In between the 3rd and 4th crack, in between the Victorian cutback and that last sweep forward, you'll get another crack in your right hand. Boom, 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 right. Your right hand will do an overhead crack right after you do the Victorian cutback in the left hand. So here's the Maltese Falcon again, where I'm just keep on doing the routine. And originally, how I got to doing the Maltese Falcon is through a routine by Andrew Thomas called Scott's Crossing. Scott's Crossing is a routine where you do the 4 corners in one hand, and then the Queensland crossover in the other hand. And the reason why I wanted to do the Maltese Falcon is I wanted a way to be able to switch between doing the 4 corners in my right hand to doing the 4 corners then in my left hand. That's a common thing it's a symmetry thing common in a lot of Australian whip cracking routines, where you do it on one side and then you learn how to do the exact same thing on the opposite side. So first I'll demo Scott's Crossing, then I'll throw in the Maltese Falcon. Once you use the Maltese Falcon to transition during the Scots crossing on one side and then on the other side, you can also use the Maltese Falcon to transition doing the four corners over the volley, switching four corners in your right hand to switching the four corners in your left hand. So the Maltese Falcon will be in there, and you see instead of doing the Queensland crossover in the other hand, I'll do the volley. There you go, a routine called the Maltese Falcon. Here's the Maltese Falcon by itself one more time.